Now starting again. Consider the following about the respect to the coffee cultivation. Robusta is the growth in higher altitude of Arabica. Arabica is the susceptible in pest and disease and require more shade than Robusta. So B is true and Robusta is the grown higher altitude of Arabica. That's not true. So there is a variety of copies of Arabica and Robusta, and higher market value is the compared to the Robusta means. So on the other hand, Robusta is more strength. Arabica require more care and nature. So Arabica is susceptible to pest disease and require more shades than Robusta. And Robusta is grown in higher altitude. That's not true. Robusta is the suitable irrespective of size and farm. Arabica is susceptible to pest and require more shade of Robusta. And Robusta grown in India both and being aromatic, its higher market value. And on the other hand, Robusta has more strength, therefore used in making various blends. So Arabica require more care and Robusta is suitable to the size and farm. Now next, with respect to the medical termination pregnancy rule, consider the vulnerable women in the rule includes minor survivor sexual assault and fetal malformation. The vulnerable women are allowed 24 weeks with the permission of a doctor. So it's not 24 weeks yet given, and A is right. So we can see that the Medical Termination Pregnancy Act is new category of vulnerable women, and they allowed the 24 weeks for upon meeting certain condition and with the permission of 2 doctor. So here is given the 4 doctor. Yeah, 24 week is given, but the with the permission of 2 doctors. Okay, 2 doctors should give the permission, and this include minor survival of sexual assault and those with fetal malformation. Other way seek abortion 20 weeks with the before that it was the 20 week. Okay, and of one doctor, and one doctor was given, but certain criteria earlier you needed permission of 12 weeks and 2 doctor for the 12 to 20 weeks. 12 to 20 week was there, and the amendment law provides for setting up the state level medical board. So state level medical board giving the permission, and if a pregnancy may be terminated 24 weeks. Now with respect to the tank Arunachal highway, trans Arunachal highway, it's a important northeastern development India look east connectivity, and it's a help in reducing the pupil by connecting district headquarters. So both are true. Okay, so trans Arunachal highway is the through entire length of the state, roughly divide Arunachal state in the 2 parts, the upper 2/3 and the northeast is the lower 1/3. The Arunachal Pradesh highway is help in reducing the isolation of people by connecting the district headquarters, major hydroelectrical power projects and the important place, and the trans Arunachal highway along with the under construction Arunachal east west corridor across the loop is still inside the Arunachal Pradesh along the Assam border, and the proposed Arunachal highway along with the China border important enable to northeast development and the look east connectivity. Next is the minor were included as a special category in the Medical Termination Pregnancy Act. So large number of approaching court for the permission to terminate pregnancy 20 week. They were the third largest category after those with fetal abnormality and the rape survival, and the detection of pregnancy in case of minor get delayed. So it's all are true here. Minor are included as a special category. Okay, and approaching to the permission termination pregnancy into the 20 weeks. So it's large number of them were approaching court permission to terminate pregnancy 20 weeks, and they were the third largest fetus abnormality rape survival. Okay, and if you took a social context, the detection of the pregnancy in case of minor gets delayed, and then after that the needs to negotiate and seeking relevant care become all of the more difficulty. Section 19 of the act require any person aware of minor engaging in the sex to report the matter to local police, and if it was the consensual act, the law made age consent 18. Okay, next was consider the following statement with respect to the invasive alien species. They may lack natural predators in their new environment, allowing them to quickly increase their abundance and spread. They can carry disease outcome, complete or prey on native species after food chain and even change the ecosystem. So they may lack natural predators in their new environment, allowing them to quick increase the abundance and spread. They are disease outcome, complete or prey on native species after food chain and even change the ecosystem. So C is the answer. So invasive species are the that introduced accidentally or intentionally outside of their natural geographical range and that become problematic. They are often introduced as a result of the globalization of economic through the movement of the people and goods. For instance, via shipping and consignment of wood products carrying insects or the transport of the ornamental pins to the new area. Invasive alien species can be severe ecological effects and they are like natural predator in the new environment, allowing them to the quickly increase their abundance and spread. They can carry disease and outcompete the prey on native species, alter the food chains and even change the ecosystem, by example altering the soil composition or creating habitat. They encourage the wildfires and impact that leads to the local global extinction of native species and eventually ecological devastation also. Next is the Chow and Palk. It's a dance in the Bengal. Okay, so during the Durga Puja festival in Mark the Bengal village in the fight COVID-19, the campaign is being organized. The radio of Jadavpur University, Chow dance and Park dance, Patchitra is the again the COVID-19 encouraged get vaccinated. The Chow is the semi-classical Indian dance in martial arts with the origin in the Kalinga region and Mayurbhanj region, variant in the state of West Bengal and Jharkhand. Pike is the dancer armed wooden spear shield and show off their skill and agility in the infantry and formation. So Patchitra or the Pattachitra is the general term of tradition clothes and based on the scroll painting based on the eastern of the Odisha and West Bengal. With respect to the relay cropping, consider the following. Relay planting is the different crop in the same plot. Okay, it is same plot is there and different crop. The second crop is planted even before the first crop is harvested. Relay cropping. So both are true. So there is a different crops are there, and second is planted before the first is harvested. So the relay cropping is the second crop is the planted before the first crop harvested. Thus both crop share some part of reason, and thus the relay planter means planting of different crops in the same plots, and relay planting means the planter different crops same plot. And relay cropping would be planting rice, cauliflower, onions, and many depends on the crop alone. Consider the following statement regarding the Joro spider and the Trichocephala clavata. It's part of the spider known the weaver for the higher organized wheel shaper web. It's common to the Japan, China, Korea, and Taiwan. So it's a crop of the spider known for the oral orb weaver for their high organized wheel-shaped web. Is common to the Japan, China, Korea, and the Taiwan. So the Joro spider is the Trichola clavata is the part of the spider known oral orb weaver for the organized wheel-shaped waves and common in Japan, China, and Korea and Taiwan. Joro female are the colorful yellow, blue, and red. They can be mastered there across the legs and fully extended. Which of the following statement regarding the cryptocurrency? One of the important feature cryptocurrency attracting the investor its limited supply. China has imposed complete ban on the crypto. It's not true. It's true. Oh, so China banned the all cryptocurrencies. Okay, and it's attracting the investor in the limited supply. But the most important feature cryptocurrency that faulted by the enthusiastic is their limited supply. Cryptocurrency poses no significant use in value or exchange value to sustain their current currency high price. So there is no significance for the exchange of values and currency high price. but gold and silver have the traditionally served as the hedges against the inflation, and fundamental value derived from use of the jewelry and money. But Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency neither offer direct use or possess significant exchange value. Bitcoin can buy you very few real goods and service. In short, cryptocurrency poses no significant fundamental value to sustain current high price. But China recently imposed a complete ban on all cryptocurrency and plan to issue on central bank digital currency. uh, Bright Mainite is a most voluntarily abundant mineral of the Earth's interior. Bright Mainite is present in the upper mantle. So it's not true, but bright minerals are more volumentary abundant mineral in the Earth interior. That's true. Okay, so it's a abundant mineral, but it's in the upper mantle. That's not true. Scientists minerals in depth of the Earth in the meteorites. So IIT Kharagpur scientist was there. The key finding of the study IIT Kharagpur for the formation and evolution of the Earth and meteorites that fell near the town Nagore, and reporting for the first time presence of the vein of mineral bright mites, and which is the most abundant mineral in the interior of the Earth within the Katol and chloride meteorites. The finding adds evidence of moon forming impact of the. It's a most voluntarily abundant mineral in the Earth. Next is the Project 15B. It's a Vishakhapatnam class destroyer, and Kolkata and the destroyer P-15A consists of 4 vessels: the Vishakhapatnam, Marmagoa, Imphal, and Porbandar. So all of 3 are true. It's a P-50 and Vishakhapatnam class destroyer, P-50 Bravo, and Project 50B is the Kolkata class destroyer also, and its class consists of 4 vessels named Vishakhapatnam, Warmagaon, Imphal, and the Porbandar. So the first ship of the 4 Project 15B state-of-art stealth-guided missile destroyer Vishakhapatnam being built the Majgaon Dockyard Limited was delivered by Navy. The 4 ships are named after the major city from all of the comes to country: Vishakhapatnam, Mormagaon, and Imphal, and Surat. Vishakhapatnam class destroyer is the P-15 Bravo class. Simply 15B is the class of guided missile destroyer currently being built the Indian Navy, and 15B destroyer a modified version of the earlier Kolkata class destroyer, and the class consists of the 4 vessels Vishakhapatnam, Mormagaon, Imphal, and Porbandar. Mormagaon Dock Limited, noted by the for the largest ever destroyer built by the India, and the 15B class features substantial improvement design technology stealth class. Without the reference to the Ganga River dolphin considered, it has been designed native aquatic animal of India and is listed endangered. So both are true. So Ministry of Jal Shakti is the safe rescue release the Ganga River dolphin, designed national aquatic animal of the India 2010, and listed the endangered category. Endangered category Appendix 1 of the International Trade in Endangered Species Wild Fauna and Flora sites. Okay. So it's a species whose global population estimated 4,000 are found in the India subcontinent. They often accidentally enter canal in the northern India and are often entrapped and die in unstable to swim against the gradient, eventually getting strengthened and harnessed by the locals. So only these species freshwater dolphin remaining after the function extinction of Chinese river dolphin. Consider recently Supreme Court ban using the toxic chemical like the barium salt in the firecracker. In which of the regards industry barium chloride is mainly used in the manufacturing of heat treatment of salt and cast yielding steel. The applicability of the barium chloride is limited due to the toxicity. So both are true. So although the inexpensive barium chloride find limited application, so application of the limited due to toxicity, and it's mainly used in the manufacturing of heat treatment salts and case hardening of the steel. So in the barium chloride is mainly used in the purification of brine solution in the caustic chloride plants. Also manufacturing of this heat treatment salt case hardening of the steel. Toxicity limits applicability, but the firecracker most often use the composition of the fresh powder, which can be mixture of the potassium and perchlorides and the aluminum powders and 70% of potassium, 30% of pyro quality. And no matter what are the name of today commercially produced firecracker, but maximum amount of the explosive composition 50 gram limits and past the certain firecracker several grams of the flesh powder. There are the many different way of construction various size of firecracker and also many variant in the explosive. Consider the following statement. Statement 1 is groundwater extraction, which is 35% in the 1960 and 70% of post green revolution and government subsidized power. The irrigation left tube well running for the over. Select the following about which like groundwater extraction. Both statement is correct and explanation is this right. Government subsidized power for the irrigation left tube well running for the over. So groundwater extraction, which is 35% and 70% for green revolution, and government subsidizing the power for irrigation left tube well running for the over. 82% of the farmer land area has been a huge decline in the groundwater level, whereas the 109 out of the 138 administrative block have been placed the overexploited category. Groundwater extraction, which is 35% and 70% of green revolution, a period which saw the government subsidized power for the irrigation that left tube well running for the over. Concomitantly, cultivation of water-intensive crops such as the paddy has further aggravated the water depletion. Even the turning water saline immediately measures need to be taken to manage and replace in the groundwater, especially through participation groundwater management approach with its combination of water budgeting and recharging environment. So Ministry of Jal Shakti and under the Government of India, this was formed by merging two ministries: Ministry of Water Resource and River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation, Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation. Seeing India as a looming water crisis, so the local of urban and rural not only allow the better grasp of the causative factor but also enable the stronger grip of the strategy deployed the reverse of water crisis. Fundamental to this preliminary understanding of the source from which country draw water to meet the varying needs. In the rural area, 80 to 90% drinking water, 75% of agriculture. In the urban area, 60% water is the groundwater and the source surface water is the river and located after so lakes, tanks, reservoirs. According to the Niti Aayog, 12 major cities were being to the exhausting groundwater. Also point out 2030 demand for the water is projected to be twice the availability of supply. Now, which is the respective skill strengthening for the inclusive value enhancement strive considers encouraging the skill industry in MSME and the funded by World Bank. Both are not true. Strive is a new actually not correct is given, so both are true. Actually it's from World Bank funded. It's from World Bank funded and it's a geographical chamber that would address the challenge of involvement of the MSME. So the skill strengthened for the industrial value enhancement is the new World Bank funded project that is proposed expenditure finance company committee in a total cost 2200 crore. Project fall under the program for the result based category World Bank that ensure outcome based funding. The project aim creating awareness through the industry cluster geographical chamber that would address challenge involvement of micro, small, medium enterprises. And the project would also aim at the integrating, enhancing the delivery of ITI. In order to ensure the achievement of the outcome, these ITI would be completely selected for the upgradation of the scheme. Committee Economic Affairs Strive and Loan Agreement between the Government of India and World Bank. Project Management Consultancy has been onboarded. The Operation Manual has been prepared for the consultation of World Bank. National Steering Committee and the Secretary MDSC implementation project started with the State Industry Cluster Plan. Consider the following about the methane is more short-lived atmosphere than the carbon, and methane is 80% time more potent to the warming earth than carbon dioxide. Both are true because methane is the more short-lived in the atmosphere than the carbon dioxide and 80% more potent in the warmth in the earth. So cutting emission of the gas, which is the estimated to have accounted 30% of global warming, it's one of the most effective way of slowing The climate change world leader plays save forest cut methane emission, and in its COP26 China, Russia yet to sign up, but among the signatory Brazil is the one of the five biggest methane, which is the generated cow digestive system and waste and oil gas production. China and Russia not signed yet. India is also not signed yet, but said it will not back to the pledge. But COP26 aim to keep alive a resetting targets of cropping global warming 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial level. And still greater damage of the heat wave and drought, flood, coastal damage is there. Consider the following statement with respect to narcotics, drugs and psychotropic substance 1985. The aim applies to all Indian citizen outsider and to all person on ship and aircraft registered in India. Cannabis is derivative was legally sold in India until now. Cannabis is not legally sold in India first of all, but it's applied to all. That's true. Narcotics drugs like cannabis, the derivative were legally derivatives, not cannabis actually. Derivatives was legally sold till until the 1985, so I was unaware about this. Okay, so it's legally sold. The narcotics drug and psychotropic substance deal with the cases of drugs offenses, and the law restrict the use of the narcotic psychotropic chemical. NDPS Act was Narcotic Drug Psychotropic Act is the law that governs these compounds drugs. The Drug and Drug Act is the another name for the law manufacturing, producing, developing, owning and buying, storing, transporting, consuming narcotics and illegal under this law, which approved by the Parliament, and the Act extend to the whole of India and its apply also to the all Indian citizen India and to all person on the ship and aircraft registered in India. So cannabis and its derivative hashish and charas is legally sold in India until 1985. Consider the following about the green cracker. They are the no emit particle matter and reduce emission 30% compared to the regular one, and branded differently with the green firecracker logo along with the QR code. So B is the answer. It's do not emit fine particle matter in the air, and that's not true. Green cracker are not completely free, but are significantly less pollutive, not completely free. Okay, so as compared to regular firecracker, the efficacy are determined by the Council of Scientific CSIR, and as a green cracker can only reduce emission 30% compared to the regular one. They are not a dependence of safer replacement in the regular firecracker, but only a low emission and less harmful. So green cracker use alternatives and yet harmful chemical like potassium nitrates and aluminum, magnesium, barium and carbon instead of arsenic and other harmful pollutants. So regular cracker emits between the 160 decibel to the 200 decibel, which green crackers are recited about 130 to 130 decibels. So green cracker don't solve any purpose because they too emits the particle matter. Green cracker are branded differently with the green firework logo is the QR code, and logo will carry CSIR NIRI India. Next is India launch infrastructure for the resilient island state. In this regard, consider the following. The ISIS initiative focus on building capacity, having pilot project especially in small island, and its IRIS is part of the India USA coalition disaster resilience. That's not true. So India has launched the infrastructure resilient island states IRIS, a new initiative to result cooperation between the India, UK, Australia, and included the participation of small island nation Fiji, Jamaica, Mauritius. India launched the ambitious initiative for developing infrastructure of this small island nation, which will give a new hope, a new confidence and satisfaction of doing something for the most vulnerable countries. And the small island development states face the biggest threat to the climate change. To mitigate, the India Space Agency ISRO, which built a special data for them to provide them timely information of cyclone, coral reef monitoring, coastal line monitoring, and IRIS will be the part of the India UK coalition of disaster resilient infrastructure. So it's the UK. IRIS is the resilient island states in regard to the considered. So it's a CDRI that would be focused to building capacity, having pilot project especially in small island. Which of the following is the correct regarding the green grid initiative? One sun, one world, one grids. So it's India and UK, World Bank and India, International Solar Alliance. So France is there, UK is not there, and it will be developing the worldwide grid to clean energy and transmit it anywhere. And okay, so it's a one world, one grid, and one sun. So it's developed by the International Solar Alliance. India and UK jointly collaboration with the World Bank and International Solar Alliance. It's different from the International Solar Alliance. That's why here UK is given and C is the answer. So it's launched followed by the One Sun Declaration, which is endorsed by the 83 ISA member. India is member of the steering committee along with the four countries UK, USA, France, Australia. One Sun, One World, One Grid. A to developing worldwide grid and clean energy can be transmitted anywhere. So reducing the storage needs also enhance the visibility of solar projects, and also work initiative with the reducing the carbon footprint, and it will be launch new avenues. Rural and Narikurana community, it's living in Andhra Pradesh, no, Tamil Nadu, sorry. So it's living in Narikuravar, an indigenous community of the Tamil Nadu. During the British rule, Narikuravar were the place criminal tribal act, and hence the stigmatized for the long time, including after independence. So Irula is also Irugila, it's Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, Kerala, and scheduled tribe. They are popularized in the region in the estimated as the ground, and people are Irula is called the Irular. Consider the following respect to the Smart Anti-Airfield Weapon. It's a lightweight, high-precision guided bomb design vehicle and developed by the DRDO. So both are true. So it's a light weight and high precision guided bomb designed to develop the ground targets. So the DRDO Smart Airfield Weapon, Smart Airfield Weapon is the long range weapon and guided by anti-airfield weapon designed by India Defence DRDO, designed to capable in engaging the ground target with the high precision up to the range of 100 km. And it's our approach approved for the procurement by the Indian government for a Navy and Air Force, and are being developed by Research Center and Emarat and the DRDO in the collaboration with Indian Air Force. It's lightweight, high precision guided bomb design and destroyed ground targets such runway bunkers and another reinforced structure. So now consider the following about the respect to an infrastructure investment fund. InvITs is a mutual fund enable direct investment, small money and the individual investor, and it's regulated by SEBI, and InvITs cannot establish as a trust. So it's not true. It's also established as a trust also. So the infrastructure fund is the mutual fund which is enable direct investment to the small money from the possible individual institutional infrastructure. It's InvITs regulated by SEBI, and InvITs can establish a trust and registered with SEBI and consist of the four elements: trustee, sponsors, investors management, project management. Next is while goods refer to the heavy consumer durable or large home appliance which were traditionally available only in the white goods are referred to the heavy consumer durable large home applications, and white goods include applications such as washing machine, air conditioner, stove and refrigerator. So both are true because the production link incentive scheme is the white goods is designed to create complete component of ecosystem AC, LED, okay, and India's Make in India integral parts, and only manufacturing is light with which incentive under the scheme. White goods refer to the heavy consumer durable. It's a heavy consumer durable and large home appliance which is traditionally available only in white. That includes the appliance such as the washing machine, air conditioner, stove and refrigerator. As the name of suggests, the scheme provides incentive to the company for enhancing the domestic manufacturing apart from the focusing on the reducing imports bill and improving the cost competitiveness in local goods. So next is which of the following is the statement is correct about the GST compensation. So the revenue shortfall of the state arising from the transaction to the new indirect tax regime would be made from the pooled GST compensation fund for the purpose of the calculating compensation amount payable in the financial year during the transaction period is taken as the base year. So it's a transaction of new indirect tax regime would be made from the pool GST compensation fund, and for the purpose of the calculating the compensation amount payable in the any financial year during the transaction periods are taken as a base year. So C is the answer. So the Constitution Act was a law which created the mechanism for levying the nationwide GST. Written into this law was a provision to compensate state for loss of revenue arising out of implementation of GST was made possible. State almost all the power to impose local level indirect tax and agreeing let the prevailing multiplicity imports subsume under the GST. While the GST is component on shared IGST, it was agreed that the revenue shortfall arising from the transaction to new indirect tax regime and made goods from the pooled GST compensation fund for the 5 year. This corpus is done funded through the compensation says levied so-called the demerits goods computer and shortfall the mechanism which will spell section 7 of GST done the annually projecting revenue assumption based on the 14% compound growth and revenue and calculating difference between the figure of GST collection and revenue shortfall is the 3 lakh crore which is compensation fund is 65 crore balance to pay compensation to the states for the purpose calculating during the financial year shall be the okay. Kaho village is in the Arunachal Pradesh and Chinese state belong to the following Indian state, so it's in the Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, Kaho village is the heroic village in the China border and one of the 7 village of the Kibitu block in and Lohit river Kaho and people assisting to the it's a mere community living there in the Kaho village. Now next is the it is the test that determine the degree of the fusion, okay, oscillation test, and Juvenile Justice Act provide the logistic conduct the oscillation test in the absence of the documentary proof of age both are true. So the bone oscillation test is the test of determining the age of degree of the fusion of bone by taking the X-ray view bone. A simple words oscillation test or the osteogenesis is process bone formation based on fusion of joints between the birth and age. And bone age is the indicator of the skeleton biological maturity and individual assess the determination of the age. Juvenile Justice Act provides the conduct of oscillation tests and other medical age determination available to the documentation proof. So matriculation certificates which is the 15-day date of order test conducted the Child Welfare Committee. High Court investigating the ensure that the ossification test is related to the juvenile as a report is obtained and filed before the Juvenile Justice Board within the 15 days. Now next one is the India has the recorded power supply shortage in the highest 1.5 year crunch in coal is available to the thermal plants. So India coal reserve is of low calorific value and high ash content. So it's a low calorific value and the highest content and the carbon content is high in the India. It's not true, but the India is second largest producer of the coal in the world and after China. That's true, I think. So B will be the answer. India recorded a power supply shortage 1201 million units and the highest 5.5 year due to the crunch in the coal stock available with the thermal plants. The shortage was mostly restricted to the Gujarat, Haryana, Jharkhand, Punjab, Rajasthan. Coal supply 40% of energy in India, around 30% of coal imported. And the India coal reserve is the similar to the Gondwana coal. It's of the low calorific value and high ash content. And carbon content is low in the India and health effect is the coal ash are also a problem. Air pollution from the coal-fired power plant is linked with the asthma, cancer, heart, lung ailments, global warming, acid rain, and the neurological problem and severe environment and the public health impacts. India is the second largest producer of the coal in the world after the China. Palm oil is the grown only in the tropics and palm oil offers far greater yield, lower cost and then vegetable oil. B is the true. C is also true, like only in the tropics. So palm oil is a very producing crops, greater yield, lower cost and production is then vegetable grown in the only in the tropics. Okay, so palm oil is only in the, it's true, and it useful in the food production, detergent, cosmetic and the small extent biofuel. Palm oil is a small ingredient of US diet, but more than half of the all packaged products Americans consume contain palm oil. It's found in a lipstick, soap, and detergent, even ice cream. Palm oil provides excellent substitute. Importing the oil in all India, palm oil being cultivated 13 states. Now, next is which of the following regarding the farmer producer organization is a cooperative that are emerging as a practical approach toward empowering the great number of smallholder farmer ensuring their prosperity. Is a voluntary organization which is open to all person. So C is there, like it's a FPO for the open for the all the person, and cooperative that's emerging practical approach toward the empowering great number of smallholder farmers ensuring their prosperity. So the farmer producer organization is the cooperative that are emerging practical approach toward the empowering great number of smallholder farmers. Principle of guideline FPO will be their value into the practice, and it's a voluntary organization open to all person able to their service and willing to accept responsibility and without gender, social, racial, religious discrimination. Appears a democratic organization controlled by the farmer member who actively participate in setting up policy and making decision. Men and women serving elected representative accountable to the collective body member. In the FPO, the farmer member are the having the equal voting rights and organize the democratic manner. Now consider the following statement with respect to the Airport Economic Regulatory Authority (AERA). It's a statutory body and it's a regulatory tariff and other expenditure of major airport. So both are true. It's a regulatory agency under the government of India. So airport economic regulatory authority is determining the tariff and aeronautics charge changes, and under the acts major airports have been defined means of airport which are designed to have annual passenger in excess 35 lakh. It does not provide for the determination of the airport, but the central government may also determine the major airports. An airport economic authority is a regulatory agency government of India to regulate tariff and fee. Major airport is statutory body constituting airport authority of the India.